Hi, my name's Colin Sprake and welcome to this video on handling objections. If you can handle objections, do you think it would change the results in your business? For most people, when they get an objection, lots of times you'll put the phone down. That objection comes in and you go, wow, what do I do with that in that situation? My goal is to assist you with this video to give you some subtleties to get you over those objections. Are you ready? My key thing is, if you've got some cards like this, just typical postcards, even a piece of paper right now, that is important because when you write things down, you will learn about what this video is all about and helping you take your objections and turning 30% of them into key prospects. Would that be of assistance to you to turn your objections into prospects? Well, let's get into it. The key thing I want to go through today is the following. Handling objections is very straightforward. When you look at this card, it's a process. Number one, you always have to acknowledge the objection. Number two, you have to ask an open-ended question. Asking an open-ended question. What does an open-ended question mean? It means a question that really at the end of the day does not have yes or no as an answer. If you have a yes or no answer, it really destroys the entire question because people answer no or yes and you're done. So it's a 50-50 chance that that conversation is going to be ended immediately. So make sure it's an open-ended question, which gets people talking to you. The final thing is, really at the end of the day, you go back to number one and number two. Acknowledge, ask a question. So let's get into it. Here are some key objections that you might experience in your business. I'm too busy is one of them. The next one, you're just too expensive. And another one that you might experience, I already have another supplier or vendor that does what you do already. Like I already have an accountant, I already have a bookkeeper, I already have somebody that does my printing. Those are key objections. How do you overcome them? Do you want to overcome them? Let's get started. Let me show you some key strategies. Remember, the three-step process is acknowledge, always acknowledge the objection. But remember, what is acknowledge? Acknowledge doesn't mean you agree with them. If you agree with the objection, what really happens to you is you're now saying, well, I agree with you. So if you agree with them, you've pretty much terminated the conversation. If you agree with the objection, you put yourself really on the back foot. And once you agree, that's just tough. You might as well put down the phone and walk away from the situation. Acknowledging means to really say, I understand you have an objection. I understand your point of view. And then move on to asking a question. So let's get into this. Now really when you get these objections, what do you do with these objections? Remember, your whole goal is to acknowledge, ask an open-ended question and get into conversation with the person that you're chatting with. If you really do not understand this, your goal is to get into conversation with them. Remember, at Make Your Mark, Training and Consulting, we're all about caring for the customer. If you go in with handling objections with caring in mind, you will get amazing results. So let me take you through the quick process to get you understanding. So here's the thing. We have the question or the statement. You go to a client and they say, Colin, I already have a supplier for that service or that product. Then you go to the back of the card and you have three key questions. What and when and how. What, when, how. Those will help you get open-ended questions to sort out this objection. So let's look at that objection. How would you acknowledge that objection? I understand you already have somebody that supplies that service. You can just handle the objection or acknowledge by saying, thank you. It does not agree with them. Remember, you don't want to agree with them. And the last thing you want to do is either explain or defend the objection. If the objection is, I already have somebody that supplies that service, and you go in saying, well, I understand that, but what are they doing for you? Really, at the end of the day, you're starting to defend and trying to get your point across, and really, if they are very emotional about your business or the service that you've provided, you can get objections that are really tough. Objections that might say, I hate dealing with companies like you. How do you handle that objection? Acknowledge. I understand that you've had difficulties in dealing with certain companies. How would you like to be dealt with? You go into the how question. You see how this works? You could also ask a when question. Or not really say a when, let's say a what question. What would you like to see from companies like us when dealing with us? Now you've opened a question or asked a question that's open-ended that gives them immediate results and gives them a chance to open up and explain things to you. Do you see what I'm talking about? Let's go to, I'm just way too busy right now to consider your products or services. You go to the back of the card, what, when, and how, and you try to come up with a question that is important. Remember, first acknowledge. I am way too busy, Colin. I understand that time is of importance to you. When would be a better time to contact you? You see what I'm saying? It really is handling that objection, asking an open-ended question to get them to talk to you so that you open up a conversation. Because remember, we're in the sales game. It's all about building great relationships. And when you build that great relationships, your clients become raving fans of who you are. Let's look at another one. Your products, Colin, are just way too expensive. You could say thank you, or I understand the price is important to you. Can you tell me expensive compared to what? Because expensive is really in the hands of the beholder. For some of you out there that watch this video, expensive is $500. Expensive to another person is $50,000 or $5 million. Expensive really is one of those words that people use, and I always go, let's go through it again, and I'll take you through the process to understand it once again. Colin, your products are just way too expensive. I understand the price is important to you, so you acknowledge. Now we're going to ask a question. Expensive compared to what? Ask a question, zip it now, keep quiet, and let them answer. Remember, we're all about this at Make Your Mark. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should be doing double the amount of listening for the amount of talking you do, because the person who's in control of the sale is the one listening, not the one talking. So when you keep quiet and let them answer, they will give you a lot more information. If they give you another objection immediately, you do the same thing again. Your goal is to acknowledge, ask a question, and open up the conversation. And remember, that question always needs to be open-ended. So I really hope that this video gives you those key things to get through your objections. When you do this and you practice them, how do you get going to really get these objections working for you? You practice them every single day. Even if you have to put a teddy bear on your desk and practice in front of a teddy bear one-on-one, I'd rather you do that than practice on your clients. Practicing on clients is a waste of an opportunity. Does that make sense to you? I really hope it does. You might laugh about the teddy bear or the stuffy toy that you put on your desk that you practice with, but the bottom line is, I'd rather waste my practice times on that teddy bear and win over those objections and get 30% of those objections turning into potential sales for my business, and of course, at the end of the day, for your business. This is Colin Sprake with Make Your Mark Training and Consulting. Look out for our future videos coming up, and at the end of the day, right below me, at the bottom of this video, you will see our web address. Go to our website, sign up for one of our free evenings, or introductory evenings as we call them, coming up soon, and you can realize we are all about business with soul. What are we doing for not just ourselves, but our community, our staff, and everybody that we touch, our customers as well, that we touch. What are we doing to enhance their lives, to make their businesses, lives, and community better overall? So I look forward to seeing you at one of our seminars soon, and thank you for watching this key video on handling objections.